2 and 1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
With the extension. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Wednesday, Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Renan Cias here, host of the Business Bros podcast, along with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James Cias. And as always, we have an amazing show planned for you this time today with a full house. Let me get right into it. Today, we've got a podcast studio full of knowledgeable captains and leaders. You like that? Oh. We have in-house today someone who wears multiple hats, including a skipper's hat. Today's guest is the designated broker at Keller Williams La Jolla, and in his spare time is the broker, owner, and captain of the best yacht charter in San Diego. From KW La Jolla and Custom Yacht Charter, welcome to the show, Peter Dursi. Woo! But wait, there's more! We're also
behind door number 2.
Behind door number 2, we are also lucky enough to be joined by San Diego's top strategic advisor and real estate business coach. Whether you are a real estate broker, brokerage, or individual agent, today's guest will help you get that perfect score. You like this? Joining us from the 10 Perfect Score coaching firm, please welcome Tim Yates.
Oh. Thank you. No drum for me.
There it is.
I am a drummer, so yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Are you really?
I am.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Where's the drum set then?
this is my house, dude.
All right, so you and I are going to talk because we're going to put the drum set right over there. That's a perfect spot, man.
We live together.
It's a soothing instrument. It's really soothing if you just relax.
Super, you're the one slamming on the drums. Of course.
There's headphones on.
Ladies and gents, before we get into our conversation today, I want to remind you, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. We're at 362. We need 3 more pairs of shoes, which we know we're going to get really soon. But if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up, 619-884-0045, or james@csfirst.com. The guy's also in insurance. Pipeline Insurance is our insurance agency. So if you got homeowners, you got life, business, whatever it is you need, or maybe you have a mortgage office or a tax office, you want to add insurance into your business, we do the heavy lifting for you. Hit James up and find out that opportunity, how to get that done. 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. Our show sponsor for today is dronequote.net. The sun is shining in San Diego. You need to be getting paid for all those sun rays coming in. DroneQuote.net is where you start shopping for solar. DroneQuote.net/business bros. Hop on there. They'll send a drone over to your house, measure the rooftop, send the measurements to roofing companies and solar companies. You sit back, decide which company you want to work with, click on the link and get started. That's how you do it. DroneQuote.net/business bros is where you start.
Woo!
Wow.
Well done, sir.
Every single day, a little bit of something, right?
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I don't know. Who do we want to start off with? Do we want to start off with the perfect 10?
Why not? Why not? So I'm going to start off though with a complaint because I got a lot of reflection going on up here. So your makeup person back there did not do their job. I'm just saying that was a fail.
Well,
right
to be
there,
fair, you're like me. We're hair deficient.
Well, we're going to talk about our hair treatment a little bit later. I think we're going to compare some notes, and then the other thing too is. He got a better spot than me because my back's to the door here. And so that's just I'm not high maintenance or anything, but I'm just saying, like
You're all about the 10.
It's got to be a perfect 10.
It's got to be a perfect 10.
A perfect 10.
So
that's right.
If it's not correct, I got to let you know.
Yes, exactly. I can't help myself.
I feel you. Thank you. I love that.
Yes.
Well.
Okay.
I shaved my head today, so we're good.
See, it is a nice trick, though. I guess if you go like that,
the glare's gone.
Then the glare's gone, but then it looks like I don't know. It looks kind of weird, I think. So I don't know. I'll live.
How about you, Kat? Are you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was good. I had to drop the R there.
Yeah.
What was that pirate joke? Do you remember the pirate joke? What's a pirate's favorite letter in the alphabet?
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be the R, but it'd be the C.
There you go.
He had it.
Yes. All right, Captain Pete, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am the designated broker for Keller Williams La Jolla, which basically means I run all the compliance for 150 agents and broker associates out of that office and put out all the fires and deal with all the issues and whatnot that may or may not come up. But overall, just... oversee that we're operating in an efficient manner, doing our job ethically, responsibly, and taking care of our clients the best we can.
Oh, so in short, you don't sleep. Okay.
Well, that's
that sounds
correct.
about right.
Yeah. You're in the real estate biz as well, right?
Well, yeah.
So it comes home with you at nights, weekends. It doesn't leave you.
It's a good thing Keller Williams has a good training program because otherwise you'd have a lot of mistakes.
Perhaps, but when you have coaches like this guy, those mistakes get marginalized.
Thinned out a little
Here's
bit.
another $100, Pete.
Thanks.
Keep it up.
Keep
I'll
it
just
coming,
keep
coming.
it coming, buddy.
So tell me, you're managing broker Keller Williams, phenomenal, already busy schedule, and then you also go out to sea on the side?
Well, yeah, it's kind of a perfect little marriage, actually, between the two businesses. So, most people take a month or so of vacation time a year, and I just stagger my trips. I take about, I do about one trip a quarter, where I'm the skipper and I'm running the show. Otherwise, I outsource and use local skippers in the different areas that we service. But yeah, my clients seem to love it. I actually have had quite a bit of crossover where, I've taken clients sailing, and then down the road, in the course of getting to know them, they trust me, they respect me, and then they work with me to buy and sell real estate.
How do you decide to become a managing broker? Why not just stick to production? Why take on an office? Why do that?
Yeah, that was an interesting thing because I actually got recruited, and I think I turned down the team leader at the time roughly 6 times to join Keller Williams at the time. I just didn't know enough about the company, and I had my own little boutique business going at the time, and he came to me on the 6th attempt and said, we've got the broker position opening up, and we'd love to interview you for it. And I don't know, I think the responsibility of helping new agents in particular, but also seasoned agents sort of do their jobs better, take that responsibility off their plate. I don't know why. I just sort of fell into a role there where I just sort of can manage, I think, multiple people and any issues that do come up in real estate, and just put logic and reason behind it and take the emotion out of it in certain cases. And, a lot of times when these issues come up in real estate, people just want to be heard. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it takes a certain type of personality, I think, to sort of mitigate those risks and those problems and sort of come to a resolution before it goes to mitigation or before it goes to mediation or anything like that.
So you're there to help put out fires, but you're also there to motivate, help, and inspire, right?
Correct.
So at what point did you decide I needed somebody to help me go to another level?
Yeah, and that's a good question, right? So once I sort of got the Keller Williams office operating at a level that I was comfortable with, and we had our systems in place, then I decided that, hey, I want to get back into production now, and I want to start servicing my database again and start working with my clientele. And it just got to a point where I realized I wasn't doing everything as best as I could be doing. And like anything in life, athletes need coaches, business people need coaches, and I had in the past. I've been in real estate for 20 years, and I've worked with different coaches throughout, Tom Ferry and Mike Ferry and different other coaches. All left me wanting a little more. Came across Tim, who's got a great pedigree, great background. He's got a master's in finance, got a master's in, correct me if I'm wrong on that actually, master's in business and a master's in economics. And a high school diploma as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did complete high school.
Apparently.
So he's got
degrees, baby.
He's also been a C-level guy for different companies. He's got a great background when it comes to that. Team building, recruiting. There's a lot of things that Tim brings to the table. But most importantly, the guy is just an authentic, genuine, down-to-earth human being who's got other people's best interests at heart, and that really resonates with me.
So from what I heard him say was that he went through other coaching programs, and he was still kind of a 7. He was a looker, right? But he's got to become a 10. What did you help him do?
Wow. Thank you for that, by the way, buddy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Pay me later.
It's interesting. The coaching industry, for a long time has always just been about, to me, I think it's about mass produce, just trying to get people, on their feet and start to build a foundation. But to me, coaching is more about a real relationship. It's about getting involved in their business. Mm-hmm. So most coaches that I've ever had too, you get like a 30-minute phone call once a week with your coach, which is great. There's a lot of great coaches out there. That's the thing. But I always viewed, I wanted more too. When I was working with coaches, I wanted more than just that 30-minute phone call. I needed someone to be really involved in my business. So I developed my program to really insert myself more as like the chief operating officer of a business. So I'm in there not just telling Pete like, hey, Pete, you should do this, 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 and this. I'm actually rolling up my sleeves with him, sitting down, and we're banging things out. So if I say, hey, let's make some calls to the database, I'm right next to him, creating some custom scripts, calling the database, going after leads, and just building the business that way. If we need to create a business plan, I'll help write the business plan. I'll create the budget. I'll do the things that a business needs, working in tandem with my client to ensure that we're actually executing the tasks. Because I think what happens in our industry, so many people have these big visions and plans. They want to do this and this. And most people don't actually achieve those goals because they don't actually know how to execute. They need help executing the actual plan, not just creating the plan. They need execution of the plan. So I step in, I hold them accountable, and I'm right there with them as really more of a business partner than a coach.
Well, I also noticed that, I've gone through coaching programs, and a lot of them are like, I'm not here to be your friend, right? I'm here to hold your hand, help you get accountable, put you on pace, set your schedule up, whatever it's going to be like that. That's not the impression I got from you when you guys walked in. You guys actually like each other.
Well, and that's the thing too. I had to make a decision. Do I want to try to impact a lot of people in a small way or a small group of people in a big way? So I decided for my business that I'm very selective in who I work with. I only take on a handful of clients each year, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So I work with a handful of people that I truly care about. I have a relationship with them, because to me it's more than just about the numbers too. It's Pete mentioned life coach, and I would never want to be called a life coach, because to me it's all encompassing. I just think it's about the relationship, helping impact Pete on a personal level as well as a business level, and we help each other out, and that's really what a partnership does.
Yeah, and I can elaborate on that a little bit too. I mean, I think that a lot of coaches out there are a lot of great coaches out there, no question. But the accountability aspect, it is what a lot of them sort of hang their hat on. And to get that 30-minute phone call once a week, if you will, which is the formula for a lot of coaching programs, at the end of the day, if you don't do your job and don't do what they tell you to do, what's the penalty, if you will? You get a slap on the wrist. Whereas with Tim, ultimately at the end of the day, sitting down next to you and helping to motivate you, get the task done, execute. If you need to hire, he'll get out there and actually help recruit. So, I mean, I look at him not as a coach, but business partner. Yeah. And that's a better description.
Totally.
That's a good description. I mean, literally, when you guys got here, you're making phone calls in the car.
Yep.
Yeah. He's dragging you to these random podcasts that you host on, right? That you didn't even know about. Get out of your comfort zone.
Correct.
But I mean, he's there, like, literally helping you do these things.
Yes.
And that's something that I think a lot of people expect in coaching, but don't actually get in coaching.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you're right. As far as scalability, it's not really, it's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're only taking on a few people. So it's not a coaching organization that you talked about the ferries, right? So it's not scalable like that, but the quality of coaching that you get and mentoring business partner that you get is at a different level.
Correct.
And that's the way too. I don't advertise really what my business or what I do. I have relationships with people. I let them get to know me. I get to know them. They'll know my background and know that I can really bring real substance to their business. It's not just fluff. It's real stuff. Like Pete mentioned, I've studied finance and economics at a high level. I've been, psychology. I've been a C-level executive for different companies inside and outside the industry. Even at Keller Williams, I was a team leader for a couple of years, and I've been a licensed agent since 1997. So I've door knocked, I've cold called, I've done all the things that are necessary. So I know what operations are like at the market center level. I've been at the front desk answering phones. I've done it all, productivity coaching. So I feel I have a well-rounded background to deliver what's really needed for that individual client's business.
Yeah, and the real estate game's changed quite a bit. I mean, it used to be you could be an independent solo agent and carve out a good living, but there's so much to do now between compliance, it's lead generation, but then it's transaction file flow and managing that process. It's marketing, and with social media now, there's so many tasks to accomplish there. And it's really hard, I think, these days for the independent agent to really thrive. Where I see real estate heading is teams, divide and conquer type approaches. To be able to service the client as best as possible, but also to be able to grow and scale and do things of that nature. And really, I think what Tim brings a lot to the table is with team building.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about teams, because there are a lot. I agree with you that a team is a good way to go. The problem is a lot of people build teams, and when you look at their bottom line, they're netting like less than 10% gross and of their gross revenue. That's not very good for any business model, much less on the real estate side. So if you are building a team and you're building it like that, you are better off going at it alone. So, what are you guys advising people to do to build teams correctly?
Well, I would say in some cases that is accurate, right? But on the other hand, when you do build a team and you're looking at your margins and what percentages are going to be, instead of getting 100% of the commission, you're dropping down to maybe realistic numbers, 35, 40% of the commission, right? And you're hoping to make it up for that in volume. But, because real estate has such a low barrier to entry, a lot of people don't come into the industry with a master's in business.
Absolutely.
And so, when you start looking at, okay, where are we spending money? What's our return on investment? Where should we be spending our time? Who should the next hire be? Should it be an inside sales agent? Should it be an assistant? That's where I think when you're starting to grow and expand, you really do need a coach if you don't have that master's in business yourself. It's a huge value add.
Yeah. Well, you talked about it earlier when you're running the office, having the systems in place.
Correct.
Right? That's vital, right?
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about hiring people. Well, hiring for what? What are they going to do? There's 8 hours in a day. You're paying this person 8 hours in a day to do exactly what? Right. And that's kind of a difficult decision. I mean, who's the first person you bring on? Is it a transaction coordinator? Is it an admin person? Do you need somebody to run your social media page? All these things are things that agents have in their mind, like this, I want to do this, I got to do this.
And most agents are running their business by their bootstraps. So, right?
Yes.
You ask them, hey, show me your balance sheet, show me your P&L. They'll
What?
be like, what?
Yeah.
You want my
What's
bank
a P-
statement?
What's a P&L?
You want my bank statement?
Yeah. So, really analyzing that and getting into the numbers and looking at, okay, here's your starting line. This is what you did last year. Let's look at what you could do as far as, and really though, you do still need to come at it from the perspective of how many people can I help, right? Like that's at the end of the day. Like I know you do a lot of charity work, which is super applaudable, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. But it's not about, hey, how much commission can I make for me and my family this year? But it's how many people can I go out there and help with what is one of the biggest transactions they'll ever make in their life. And it's an emotional deal.
Absolutely.
And so, Tim and I, every single coaching call that we get on, he starts out by saying, how you feeling today? What's your stress levels? That's a big part of it, right? Like my personal life doesn't just cut off and then I go into my business life. It's all one. And so having a coach who can understand the psychology of what's your mood today, like would you wake up on the right side of the bed today or the wrong side of the bed? Are you motivated? Are you uninspired? Like, let's just talk about that first. And then let's get into business.
See,
Tell me,
mindset.
Tim, well, yeah. Well, tell me why you start there. Why don't you start with what was your production like, or where? Let's see where you left off last week. What's your goals for 2019? Whatever.
Well, because in our business too, there's no. It's all blended together. There's no real separation when you're in real estate. So your business becomes your personal life and vice versa. So to me, everybody focuses specifically first on numbers and talking about things versus, let's just see how you're feeling first. Let's get the mindset going, right? And let's have an understanding of what's happening, because in all reality, we're human beings. If you're having a tough time in a relationship, you're having issues with your children, whatever it is, that is going to affect your lead generating. It's going to affect everything. So to me, I said the person's more important to me than the numbers. If we really can help each other be the best versions of ourselves as possible, then the numbers will always follow.
Yeah, and it goes both ways too, right? Because it's not a point of sale transaction. So your clients are with you for 30, 60, 90, 120 days or more,
longer,
right? And it's an emotional deal for them. So as an agent, as a realtor, as a broker associate, the key is to sort of have an even keel and ride that sort of emotional flat line, because your clients are going to be going up and down throughout the process. But as a realtor, and this, you become a marriage counselor and a therapist to them. And that is emotionally exhausting as well. If you're an empathetic person, you really care about your clients and their lives and their well-being, you're doing a lot of giving.
Yeah, I like how you said that, because it's absolutely true. The very first license I ever got was to prepare taxes. After my first business failed and I realized Uncle Sam was taking all this money, I didn't know what it was. I was like, who the heck is this guy? So I got into taxes, right? And I sat down with took the H&R Block course, worked for H&R Block for a while, sat down with my first client. I was like, so how was your year? The answers I get, I'm expecting, here's my W-2s and stuff, but no, it's everything from, I got divorced, I had a baby, my parent died, my spouse passed away, or anything and everything that happens. And I'm listening to a story, an individual's life story, and trying to pull the tax implications out of that story.
Right.
And we're kind of doing the same thing when we talk to clients in real estate. Like, this is, hey, how's it going? Well, this and this and this. And I'm trying to just be a good ear, but then also pull out the information that I need for any particular transaction that we're working on. That's huge. Like, when you talk about fiduciary responsibility, that is important, but then there's also that social responsibility that you have in a transaction. And mindset, absolutely important, because you can take that home with you. And then all of a sudden it spills over into everything else that you're doing. Now, I don't truly believe there's a balance.
There's not.
A lot of people want that balance, that work-life balance. I just don't think it exists. I think it's what you've become accustomed to and what you're willing to sacrifice on one end or the other.
It also takes discipline, right? Like you've got to give yourself time, like to charge your batteries. You know, some people refer to it as grounding. For me, these sail trips that I run, and it's a perfect way for me to escape sort of the stresses of real estate and go charge my batteries elsewhere.
To do more work.
To come back and do more work.
Yeah. I mean, nobody can live a balanced life. It's about living a counterbalanced life. Because that's really what it comes down to. You got to counterbalance things. And if you don't, you're going to be out of whack and nothing's going to work for you. You're going to be the worst version of yourself when it comes to how you are with your family, how you are with your business. So I think people need to really understand it is about a counterbalance more than anything.
I like that. Counterbalance. That makes a lot more sense than having a balanced life.
Yeah. Balanced life doesn't exist.
No,
I mean, there was one coaching call I can recall with Tim where he basically told me, you know what you need to do? You need to grab your keys, grab your car, and just go take a road trip. Go drive. You know, clear your head. And fantastic. I hit the road and it was fantastic. But that's the balance, the counterbalance that you need sometimes, right?
Well, it's funny because we talk about this all the time, and we have agents, insurance agents, right, that have never sold a thing in their life. You know, the barrier of entry into insurance is also low, right? A 52-hour course, pass the state exam, and you're set. So they've never done anything in sales before, and so we've always had this conversation, like, how do we motivate them? And he's really big on, we got to get their mind right, we got to get their mindset right. And I was always big on, we got to get them taking action. Their mindset will follow the action that they're taking. And I'm hearing you guys go more on the mindset side. At what point do we start taking action on the things that we do?
Well, again, it's about both. A lot of people, it's either one extreme to the other, but to me, it's a little bit of both. You have to have the mindset right, but you have to have the action as well. If you only have one, you don't accomplish the goal. You need both of those together. So you need somebody that can put those two things together. Like I said, a lot of people are either, visionaries or they're executors of someone's vision. And so I was, Pete knows I'm a little bit of both. I'm kind of a hybrid. So I can see the vision, I can execute the vision and make that happen versus being a dreamer. A lot of people are just dreamers and they never actually accomplish anything because you need to execute. So I think in a team, I can take someone with like Pete, he's got his vision and I'm going to help him ensure that we execute that vision and we won't stop until we do.
So let's talk a little bit about vision, because this is one of the things that him and I have been working on for quite some time, trying to come up with our own vivid vision of what our life is supposed to look like. Because I'm a huge believer in, if you don't have, you sail boats. If you don't have a destination, but you just take off, you're never going to get to wherever you plan on going because you don't have a destination in mind. How do you build visions with your clients, or is it something that your clients already have going in? Because I know a lot of people who are successful, very transactional, do a lot, but have no clue really where they're going.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have goals and they have ideas, but sometimes they need to be refined, they need to be shaped. And Tim's helped me quite a bit with that, actually. Just clearly identifying what is the life that you want. How much free time do you want? How many clients do you want to help? What does your day look like? What does your weeks look like? And are you enjoying that? Are you enjoying the process, the building process? For a lot of people, they focus on the end result. Hey, I want to hit these numbers. I want to help these amount of people. I want to provide this for my family. But are you enjoying the process of building a business and growing it? Because that's the fun stuff. And when you really start to realize it's the journey.
You have to enjoy the process.
Finish line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to enjoy the process. I agree with that. The finish line is never really there. I think it was...
and it keeps moving.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey, I heard him talk about who's your hero. They asked him who's his hero.
Right. It was a great clip.
Yeah, and he was like, my hero is me in 10 years.
Right.
And then 10 years goes by and they ask him, hey, are you your hero yet? No, man, my hero's still me in 10 years. It's like that you're always going to be chasing. When you get to a certain goal, it doesn't end. You just have newer goals, bigger goals.
But to your earlier point, I think it comes from within the person to say, hey, I want to be a better version of myself, right? And it starts with that. So the person has to clearly identify it, and then they've got to find out, hey, is the 10 and is Tim the person I want to work with and the team I want to work with? And then Tim reciprocally needs to decide, hey, are you somebody that I can really help, and am I the right person for you? Because it is a bond of that nature. It's reciprocal. It goes both ways. I take and I give from Tim and vice versa.
So Tim, you ever have to
I think
tell
I
anybody...
bought lunch today. I bought lunch today. I bought you lunch today.
See, it works both ways.
See, it does.
Do you ever have to tell anybody no? Like, sorry, I'm not going to work with you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Pete knows this, that I've had to, and it's a difficult thing because I don't want it to ever come off as arrogance, because it's not. I'm a very humble person. I care about people. I really do. But I also have to know that there's only one of me. And I, you know, I owe it to myself, I owe it to my family, I owe it to my clients to make sure I don't overextend myself. And so I have to be very selective and very careful with that. But yeah, there are oftentimes I have to say no. And honestly, it can be sometimes it's just not the right fit from a personality standpoint, but ultimately a lot of it's just based on my time too. How much time do I really have to give?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
And I like how you emphasize, like, it's gotta be balanced for me too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm here to help you. I'm here to provide a service to you. I'm here to help make your dreams come true. But I too have a life. You know what I mean? And we were talking about this in balance earlier. You know, I hear agents that are like, I answer the phone at, you know, midnight, and, you know, I don't care when it is. The client's always going to be there. I feel like it's commendable.
Yeah,
but
that is the sort of double-edged sword of being a realtor, is that you do live by the phone, right? I mean,
you do.
And there is a point, though, if you're having a meal with your family, if you're sitting down for dinner, there is a time where you do need to shut that thing down and say, this is quality time I want to spend with my kids or my spouse or whoever. I mean, you have to. And even if that means you're going to lose a deal or because that client is not loyal to you, and if you don't pick up, they just call the next person. I mean, well, maybe that's not the client you wanted to work with anyway.
That's hard to get somebody to understand.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and the thing about it, there's, you know, like I said, you know, success leaves clues, and all I have to do is follow the models that were done before us and realize that. I tell a lot of agents and brokers, you can treat this almost like a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday, and receive all the benefits that you would get from owning a successful business. And so, but you have to structure the right way. There's a way to build a business. There's a way to build a team. A lot of people in real estate, unfortunately, get into it. You know, they get their license, they're shown how to do open houses, how to put the signs up, but they're not taught how to be business owners. And I think the industry has failed us by not bringing in people that are more experienced business owners, executives that understand how to build business from scratch. And so that's what I try to bring to the table to teach my clients. I'm not teaching you how to be a better broker. I'm going to teach you how to be a better business person.
Right. And if I can jump
in.
Yeah, no,
there, jump in.
Ultimately, the industry, if you will, went from a broker-centric model, which was you had one broker and a bunch of agents hanging their license underneath that broker. And, you know, the broker oversaw the liability and the insurance, et cetera. But I think that the industry as a whole has turned into an agent-centric industry now. And now you've got a bunch of people out there who maybe don't have business backgrounds running around trying to grow their own individual business and to try to grow that in a period of 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is. You know, look, sometimes you need help.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, when you've built a business the right way, for example, I've talked to agents who've been in the industry, you know, 20 plus years. You ask them where they get their business from, it's always referrals. You know what I mean? It always comes down to referrals. The ones that fell off never got to that phase. And it's because you're right. They didn't learn to run their business like a business.
Yep.
You run a business like a business. Now you have things in place. Like, you know exactly how many calls you're making every day. You know exactly which one of your clients you're taking out for lunch this week or whatever it's going to be. You know exactly how to really work your circle of influence in a way that is beneficial to you and your business. You have things in place where you have a transaction, you have a transaction coordinator, or maybe you have your admin handling certain things, your marketing materials going out on a regular basis. All these things are put in place, and you're building a referral business. I really, really can say that those who've built actual businesses have built a referral-based business.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's about relationships. I mean, it's about the database, and what does that represent? It's about relationships. So that's why I also tell people too. People think, you know, I have this large database, but they have no relationship with those people in it. So it's better to have a smaller database with real relationships that you can build off, and then continue to duplicate that process, because everything is about relationships, and that's just thrown around. That's so cliche. Everybody's, it's about relationships, but it's actually spending the time with people to build relationships. You have to invest that time, and you have to invest it wisely, because there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah, well, saying it and doing it are always two different things. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Seth Godin, of course. You know, he had a book a while back, the Unleashing the Idea Virus. You want sneezers. You want people in your group that are constantly singing your praise, that are talking to other people about what it is you do. But it requires that they are essentially your friends. You know, we keep calling them clients, we keep calling them prospects, but these are people that become your friends because you've built those relationships.
And because the transaction timeline is so long in most cases in real estate that you do become friends, right?
Yes.
But that all has to be backed up with integrity and character, and you're not going to get referral business from somebody who doesn't trust you or respect you. And that's all part of the equation as well.
Well, it's also falling off after the transaction.
Totally.
That's a huge thing that happens in many industries.
Yep.
And I mean, in insurance is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
We got the business done. No, bro, like that's the beginning. That's just where the relationship starts. You want sneezers, you need to actually have friends. You need to, you get to know them. Guess what? They might be married. They might have kids. They might not. They might have dogs, whatever it's going to be. But how do you know if you're not making that effort? And it's I don't know. For me, it's always small steps on a consistent basis, right? Small things that you do on a regular basis.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
Sound effect's not working, huh?
Sound effect isn't working.
That was a cool one, though. I like
That
that.
was a
That
good
was
one. That
more
was
genuine.
fun.
See, that's real.
That's real.
stuff. Real effort.
The time is 30 minutes and 14 seconds. We interrupt today's regularly scheduled #1 podcast in San Diego for a purely selfish, completely irreverent, sell-out cash grab word from our sponsor. Actually, it's not a sponsor. It's just a charitable cause. Hernan, what are we selling today?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the kids. Normally we do a cash grab, which means a sponsor spot. But right now we're going to do It's All About the Kids, ladies and gents. So if you guys can do me a favor, go to it'sallaboutthekids.org/feed the kids, or It's All About the Kids /volunteer. Maybe you got high school kids that need some community service hours. Maybe you want to donate some time. Maybe you want to donate some money. This is a great organization. They're feeding 10,000 families every week. They would love to be feeding more. Actually, they would love to be feeding less because the problem is solved, but the problem keeps getting bigger, so they would love to be able to feed more families. It's all about the kids, so please reach out to them, find a little bit of maybe stuff that you can donate, maybe food, maybe money, maybe your time. Whatever you can do, it's all about the kids.
Hear, hear.
Boom.
Love it. Thank you, sir.
I just noticed that Pete's got his own camera on him, though,
Listen,
and
they-
I'm way
they-
far
well,
away.
Actually,
from
you
things,
both
You
both
do
have
too.
your own camera.
It's
Where's
right there in
mine?
front
I
of
don't see him.
But wait,
Is that
hang
mine
on,
right
hang
there?
on.
you. Yeah, that's you right there.
I gotta
See, now I
finish
can't
up-
see myself.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Listen, it's all
And
about
I
now,
love this guy.
and now, back to the #1 podcast in San Diego, the Business Bros Pod.
Boom. So,
Bros.
I like to do my movie voice.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
that's
it's
a
like
good
it's the one time that I get to talk in the show, so
and you
Like,
guys, you guys
I do the intro and the
Which
interruption.
you are great at that, by the way.
Oh, thank
Quite the intro. Tim, what was your
It
rating?
is Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
great movie voice.
That's
So
it.
even if you get tired of helping people become successful,
I can do this.
you can do that.
Yes. Yes.
for sure.
And then we're gonna have him on again. He's just gonna talk in that pure movie voice the whole time.
Totally.
We'll just talk like this the whole time.
entire time.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, so Pete, tell me a little bit, like sitting with Tim, working with him. What's your plan now for the future? Like where do you actually see yourself going? And maybe you can tell me a little bit about how Tim helped you get there.
Sure. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to go from being a one-man band, and I think that resonates with Tim being in a band. You're a percussionist,
Yes,
right?
I am a percussionist.
To growing a team, right? I do not want to be singularly responsible for every task that has to be accomplished because, as we talked about earlier, there's just so much. There's so many shiny objects in the real estate business, and it's really hard to stay focused on the important tasks. And there's only so much time in a day. So, again, I fall back on Tim to help with some discipline, structure, systems, recruiting, growth. But, I mean, the beautiful part of working with the 10 is that he's not just going to tell me what to do, but if I need to have an executionable task accomplished, Tim will either do it, literally do it, or be right next to me as we task it together.
I actually got his dry cleaning the other day. That was a task and
Yeah.
car wash,
Amazing.
maybe.
Coffee.
Oh, how do you get
No,
part
I'm
of
just
10?
kidding. Don't take that serious.
So Tim, what's the significance of the 10?
So the 10 represents a few different things. So first and foremost, for San Diego County, if you close 10 transactions, it represents putting roughly about $100,000 in your pocket. The 10 also represents the business model where eventually my plan is to, again, I'm one person, but I want to be able to eventually impact more people. So my formula is, as a 10 coach, I only take on 10 clients maximum in a 12-month basis. Eventually, I would want to have 10 other coaches, all coaching 10 people, so then we can have an impact of about 100 clients in a specific market. So to me, it's just more representative of a scalable market, business model in different markets that can really deliver quality over quantity.
Yeah, and I think it should be emphasized is that he's not looking to marginally improve 100 people's lives. He's looking to significantly improve 10 people's lives and then go to the next 10 people and the next 10 people. And I think that's the formula behind the 10. And quite honestly, I mean, it's quality over quantity.
What happens? How do you know that somebody's ready to take the training wheels off, I guess, to leave the eagle's wing?
Well, you know, it's interesting because Pete and I were talking about this over lunch today too. It's like my approach is each account I have, each client I have is a completely different approach. It's a custom approach. It's not mass coaching to just everybody's doing the same thing. So I have to really create a plan based on the individual, what their needs are, what's going on with their business and everything. So it's a customized approach for each person. So within a 12-month period, there might be, you know, half of them might be ready to really go off on their own. The other half might need more work. So to me, it's just more of deciding who is going to continue with me, who might go beyond that and continue to help them in certain aspects of their business.
Man, you ready to go off on your own, or how do you see yourself so far?
In what capacity?
Are you ready to...
He's never leaving me.
No, honestly, I'll give you the approach. I love my charter business. My yacht charter business to me is a passion project that I just find a lot of enjoyment, and I love sharing that experience on the water with people. So I want to keep that incorporated as part of my overall career plan. But you know, I used to own a Help Yourself franchise, and I had my own business in several different capacities. And I got into the compliance aspect of things because I just got a little burnt out on the real estate stuff, you know, and it's easy to do. But now falling back into production, yeah, I mean, I plan to stay involved with Tim to the point where maybe in a year or 2 years down the road, maybe I start getting involved in coaching and helping other folks. I mean, I think that would be a long-term beautiful vision. I
think a lot of my clients might end up becoming part of the business itself because they will have been a part of it for a long time. The other thing too, though, for me, ultimately, it's making sure I'm creating exit strategies, you know, for all my clients, you know, and an exit strategy doesn't mean that they're leaving the business altogether or they're quitting or whatever. To me, it's more about giving them more options with their lives, creating additional revenue streams for them, allowing them to be more selective in how they spend their time. And again, it comes back to, it's not, you know, just want to continue to grind it out. I want to be able to spend more time with my family, but not sacrifice my income. I want to increase my clients' income while I'm giving them more time to spend with where they want to go with that.
And keep them happy along the way.
Absolutely.
Counterbalanced.
Yes, it's all about.
I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, go ahead. It's, I mean, $10. I trademarked that, so it's $10 every time you say that. But no.
Every time you say counterbalance,
yes.
Ding. Tim gets some wings.
Ding. Ding. Yes.
Ding. All right, we're going to move into the Ask the Bros section. So I want you guys to think of a question.
Okay.
Maybe you powwow or something. Personal or business, either one. And while you think of that, I'm going to remind our audience, 365 pairs of shoes, ladies and gents. We need 3 more pairs, but we're willing to take on more. So hit James up, 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com if you have new shoes, used shoes, or you want to donate cash. And he's the insurance guy. So if you have any insurance risks that you need covered, maybe commercial, business, personal, whatever it is you need, life, because you know that's the only thing that's now mandated, but it's probably the most important thing if you love your family. Make sure you hit up James, 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. Dronecode.net is our show sponsor for today. So if you guys want to get the solar process started, you usually don't know where to start. You're waiting for that guy to knock on your door. No longer. Go to dronecode.net/business bros. That's where you start. They're going to take a drone, measure out your rooftop, send it to the solar companies and the roofing companies. You sit back, look at all the different solar companies offering you a bid, pick the one that works for you, and then start making the sun pay you some cash. It's hot in her. Also, a little side note, on Friday, we're going to be filming the next parody for the Underground Taco Club. Casanova Fish Tacos. They're a catering company. I wrote the next parody. It is on Ludacris's area code, so it's going to be fun. You're going to see it drop probably next week sometime. So a little teaser for that one. I'm a rapper.
Dude, you're on it.
Yeah, that's how we roll. All right, you ready?
Let's
do it.
I can beatbox.
You can beatbox?
Hear it.
Anyway, so I'm sorry, man. I'm a drummer too.
Okay.
I'm a man of many talents.
Right? I like that.
That's good.
That's some fun stuff right there.
That's right.
That was
It's
good.
getting hot in her.
White boy can beatbox.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
Start his
good.
own YouTube
Thanks.
channel.
Thanks, Sal. Good.
All right, go ahead. Question, whatever you guys got.
This is for you.
Go for it.
I love the fact that you guys have found 365 pairs of sneakers to be donated out to homeless. How'd you get into that, and why shoes?
How do we get into that? That's actually not really a me question. That's a him question. But I'll start it. Up there, we got the personal integrity creed. Something that my dad wrote. He's been modifying it for the last, I don't know, how old am I? 37 years or so. And it's basically, things that he instilled in us as kids. And the core behind that is to be of service to others, to find a way to do that. And my dad's biggest thing is to help the homeless. My mom runs a food bank similar to this, but they live in LA. And it's just kind of something that they put in us all the time. The shoe drive actually happened because of James.
Okay, sure. I'll jump in there. So
Go ahead, turn it.
Turn it.
Turn it.
Whoa, that's way too close. Okay, so I think told this story before, but basically I was in this was early January or February, something like that, and it was cold out, and I was just walking through Balboa Park, and there was just a homeless lady sitting there crying, and I just noticed that she had no shoes. So I live just a couple blocks away, so I gave her my shoes and walked home barefoot.
Fantastic.
And
That's awesome.
it made her day. Like, she brightened up, and she was like, "Oh my God, thank you!" And just walked the rest of the way home, with my dog, and people looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, I'm good. I just gave my shoes away. That's all.
I think that's absolutely beautiful. That is fantastic, and that's what it's all about, right? Helping other people, and
it's amazing how selfish it is to give. You know what I mean? Like, it really does feel good when you help somebody out that's in a situation, and
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. You feel really good. You kind of feel like, I want to do that again. Right? I want to do that again. It is a selfish way, but and for us, it sparked the let's raise the shoes.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of a twofold. We're gonna promote it on the show, see what happens. If we don't hit 365, it means we're not doing a good job on the show. And we'll try something else next time. But, obviously things are on the up and up, and it's really worked out. There have been a lot of different realtors and offices that have, put boxes out and made the contributions, and we've had a lot of great pickups and people who've donated cash, brand new pairs of shoes, all kinds of different things.
So if people wanted to donate a pair of shoes, where would they do that?
All they have to do is hit James up, 619-884-0045, or james@csfirst.com. He'll hop on his Harley. Right over there on that orange Harley. Yep. Pick up the shoes, give you an Instagram story, or keep you anonymous, however you want to do it.
And he checks those shoes in the saddlebags and brings them back to the warehouse.
Yep.
Which
That's
is here.
it.
Yep.
Amazing.
Stick them in my garage. I have bins of shoes now. Like, they're piled up. My wife's like, "You're getting rid of these soon, right?" Yes, babe. Don't worry. We got
they'll be gone maybe
this
tomorrow.
week. Probably tomorrow. This week.
Yeah, most of them tomorrow.
It's really great, man. That's a applaudable thing that you guys are doing, and coming from two authentic and genuine guys, it's just
Thanks.
honestly, it's
Thanks.
amazing.
It's just
Thank you.
A small little thing that we can do to help out. You know what I mean? Help your fellow man.
Yep.
Be of service to others. That's
it.
what it's all about. Guys, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, man, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
had fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm getting to know the 10 and Cap.
Cap.
10 cap. 10 cap.
10 Cap.
Cameras?
Yes, I almost forgot. So I want you guys to look at the camera. Tim, that's going to be yours.
Okay.
Tell people how to get a hold of you if they want to work with you for coaching, and then we'll do Pete.
Who's first? Okay, Tim's first.
Yeah.
So you can email me at tim@tryates.com. That's TRYATES.com, or 760-805. What's my number again? 9322.
Yeah.
760-805-9322.
Do one of these right
Point
here.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever
Right there.
that is right there. Okay.
There you go. It's on your screen.
That's how you can
right
do it.
there.
Yeah.
Boom. It's okay. People forget all the time. That's why we put it right there in front of them.
Thank God.
Yeah. See, you don't see it right there. It's right in front of you.
It's right here. Oh, yeah, right here.
There you go. All right, Pete, this is your camera. Tell people how to get a hold of you.
Great. For any real estate related matters, you can get a hold of me at PeteDursiRealEstate.com, and or for any sale charter requests. And we do sail all over the world. So South Pacific, Mediterranean, Caribbean, you name it. You can reach me at CustomYachtCharter.com. And for both businesses, you can hit me up on my cell phone at 619-549-6678.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Mike,
Boom.
So funny. I accidentally put the Halloween logo up just now.
That's all right. It's the Thanksgiving one. Close enough.
Close
Ladies and
enough.
gents, well, guys, thanks for being on the show again.
Pleasure.
And ladies and
I was
gentlemen,
going to say, I should
thank
just
you.
throw the Christmas one in there. Everybody else is doing it.
Everybody else is doing. No, we're Thanksgiving, man. Till Thanksgiving passes, Christmas is not here yet.
It's my favorite holiday anyway.
It is, right? That's all we got for you guys today. Make sure you guys follow us on everything we got at Business Bros Pod. Tune into the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the little bell so that you can see when our shows post and when we drop that video. Fish tacos. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.
Bye, Facebook. Appreciate you.
Stay positive.